So we're moving on to the frets, and as you can see, they're a little bit corroded and dirty at the moment, and the objective will be to polish them all up to a nice, what looks like a black chrome shine to them. I'll be using some steel wool with my little protector unit, and also be using some Autosol polish at the end to make them gleam up a little bit. So that's the overall scheme. And the next, first I'll do that, then I'll do the cleaning of the actual wood on the fretboard. It's a little bit grody and dirty, and then we're going to do the body. We'll polish it up and make it nice as well. So we're into the steel wool, polishing the crud off of the top of these frets. These frets are probably not going to come to the black chrome look like the electric guitars does, because I think this is a different kind. These frets are the tiniest frets I think you can get on the guitar. They're the tiniest ones. Not medium jumbos or anything like that. Nowhere near a medium or a jumbo. Tiny, tiny, tiny. Now I'm getting the tops of these things right now. I think there's a little bit of crud on the side too that this doesn't get into beside the guard. Then the wood needs a little bit of a touch, so I think I might just, do a little bit of a bit of cleaning on that with there as well before I go ahead with the lemon oil and take some of that stuff off as well, and that'll get the sides, these frets. Oh, some of them are way more rusty than others. And my friend is just in the learning stage, so she doesn't play anywhere up here. She says she's down in 1, 2, 3. But even when you don't play up here, it still gets cruddy. Humidity and temperature changes and things that surround your guitar, your environment. There's dust, molecules of all different kinds floating around, and they will eventually build up on the frets and the strings. The strings were as corroded as these frets. Now this doesn't have a cutaway up here to be able to get your hand comfortably to be able to play up to the 14th fret. So from 14 on, the frets are just there for show, basically. But we want them to look nice anyway. So this is my 000 steel wool, which basically just takes the crud off. The tiniest layer of metal, unnoticeable to fret leveling. I will check fret leveling as well before I restring, after these are cleaned actually. 2 to go. First round, rough cut. It'll be better than new by the time we're done. Okay, that's rough cut. Let's do a general checkup on the frets. Oh, I've got some steel wool dust I'm going to have to vacuum up. A bit of a high end right there on that one, but since nobody's going to be playing up there, I'm really not going to worry too much about that one. Another little high one right there. Of course, you can't check if you got a high one here. You can't check there because this high one makes that one seem okay. Another high one there, but not enough to worry about. Let's switch to that one. So I don't have the truss rod exactly flat at the moment. Let's see if it's a Gibson. Likely it is. Gibson, is it a Fender? It's a Fender. Alright, let's see what the relief is like with the neck off. Oh, it's exactly straight with the strings off. So it is okay to do the fret checking right now. And that being said, let's see what we got. A little bit of an off one there. Yeah, so there. Alright, so I've got a little bit of a problem. Okay, 1, 2, 3 is fine. But 3 is a little bit high in the middle for 2, 3, 4. Marker. I'm going to mark it. This one is a little bit high in the middle. A bit of a click click there. So right along there, let's mark that. And I can check the next one because that one's not involved, which will be here. And that one is a little high there. So basically that has to be just fixed a little bit. And then this one, and then I can recheck and then start moving up. Here I could try these 3 and see if there's anything going on there. There is right here. And then I can't use that one to go to the next one. A little bit on this side, right there. So 1, 2, 3, 4. I think that's all I really need to do right now because, like I said, she's working up in this area with chords at the moment. And if she moves on to bar chords up this way with the action height over there, then the minimal amount that's over here, not really a problem. So we're just going to touch those and see where it goes. I've lost it. Oh. Found it. Okay, so this is a crowning file, and when it's really small like that, I just use the crowning file to try to take it down a little bit without trying to flatten off the top too much. And now if I just work on where it's marked with the marker, I can see how it's doing. Tiny little bit, tiny little bit. Tiny little bit. Just a little bit of a click. We'll try the persuasion a little bit. Sometimes that's all it takes. And there you go. Let's try a little bit persuasion in the middle of that one too before we start filing. Ooh, solve the problem. What about that one over here? Let's give her a little persuasion. Saves all that filing and crowning on the edge. The edge might need a touch. But the E string is well inside where it's high. Like that. Good. And we marked one there. Let's try persuading the edge of that one. Yep. That did it. Okay. So I filed on one of these here, which I'm going to have to, I think it is, I'm going to have to do a little bit of a touch up with the crowning. I'm going to clean the marker off of this one and off of this edge. In the middle of this one. Like that. So now here we've got a little bit of marker. I'm just going to leave it on there. And put the tools where they belong. And I need, out of my bag of tricks, some sandpaper. And what I normally do is lay all this stuff out in advance. Here's a 320. 320 is what I need to be able to get to the side of that. Tape. Wood. Tape the wood. And then, with the little rubber persuader, we take the round off of the side of the fret, because we flattened it down a little bit on the top and you wanted a dome shape again. And that just helps put that back. Like that. Nice. Okay. Let's see. That wasn't really very much, so let's see if this steel wool will put a shine back on that without having to go to finer grades of sandpaper before moving to the polish. Feels like it. Working good. Nice. Now there's crud between the binding and the fretboard, which is going to need to be cleaned out. I'm going to use probably a wet rag, just water to start with, and see how much of that I can get out with my toothbrush tool. And then clean up the wood. I'll do some oiling, polishing, and we'll be into the next phase. Stand by for that.